Voters say Labour's dishonest over tax plans and warned fuel duty rise would hit workers. Going to read into this exclusive more from iNews, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an exclusive from iNews with the headline: the voters say Labour's dishonest over tax plans and warned that the fuel duty rise would hit workers. The exclusive reveals that Sir Keir Starmer repeatedly vowed not to raise taxes on working people ahead of the election. Guys, while you're here, make sure you hit the like button and share it across social media so others are notified of this video. Define what you would say by working people. Here's the thing, like, we know for an absolute fact that taxes were going to go up regardless of whoever was going to win the general election. And if you thought there wasn't going to be any tax cuts at all, you haven't been paying attention. You've been living under a rock for a long time. The question is, where are the taxes going to be raised? Now, honestly, we want taxes to be on the wealthiest, the richest in society. That's where we want the majority of taxes to come. However, is there a possibility that some working people may have to pay some kinds of taxes in certain places? Absolutely. Is that right and just? No. Is it right that the state of the economy, the state of the finances, the state of the cost of living crisis, is it right that we are being left in this mess by 14 years of Conservative? No, it's not right. Is this also to do with the war in Ukraine and Brexit and COVID playing an impact in all these things? Yes, they are. But overall, you have to remember, and it's easy for everyone to simply forget, we've had 14 years of the same political party in charge. Same old, same old. Now, I think people are being extremely harsh as of right now, because we still don't know enough about what Labour are going to do for the country. Sorry, for the UK. Because even though it has been now a few months, it still hasn't been past 100 days yet since they've come to power. We haven't passed that 100-day threshold. And obviously judge them on that and see what they've done. I thought the way that they handled the riots was pretty solid. Keir Starmer had gone on holiday if he wanted to. He didn't do that. I know Rishi Sunak did that. Rishi Sunak would do that if he was in charge. But I do think that that there are going to be some taxes that need to be raised. Now, I don't know if this headline is right to say that Labour were completely dishonest on some taxes. Some people may make some fair arguments in the comments, and you're more than welcome to make those arguments. But I don't know if it's to say that they were completely dishonest about that. They did say, and they have been saying, that they were going to be tough decisions going to be made. Do I agree with some of the decisions that Labour have made? No. Am I very critical of Labour? Yes, because you guys have known, those who have been following the channel long enough know that I am very sceptical of Labour. And there are fundamental key changes that people want, that I want, I don't feel that Labour are going to do. And it's down to people to pressure this government in order to do so. But I don't know about whether they're going to tax the working people or not. I would not be surprised if there are going to be some tax on the working people. But I do hope that it is people with the most wealth in the UK are the ones that have to bear the brunt of this. And I'm so sick of this comment of people saying that if you tax the rich, they leave. They will not leave. I'm so sick of this. I'm so sick of this premise, of people complaining about taxing the rich is a bad thing or something like that. You could not be more nonsense. It could not be more full of nonsense. It really, really is. The rich need to pay far, far more taxes. They don't pay nowhere near enough. There's a good chunk of that money that they sit on in places that can make a massive difference to society, where there's people who are struggling to get by, who can't even afford to turn on their goddamn heating. And those people in the comments who are trying to defend it are absolute blimmin' hypocrites. Ridiculous. Absolute ridiculous. So more than half of voters believe Labour were dishonest over its tax plans during the general election campaign, as poll has found. Now, before I go any further, like I always say with any polls, take them with a pinch of salt. Always take them with a pinch of salt, guys, no matter who they are. A total of 56% of people believe Sir Keir Starmer's party was not very honest, 24%, or not at all honest, 32% had had the election, according to an exclusive BMG Research poll for the Eye. Meanwhile, just 6% said they believe Labour had been very honest, while 28% said the party had been mostly honest. Among those who voted Labour on the 4th of July, 3 in 10, 30%, said they felt the party had not been honest over its tax plans. During the general election campaign, Mr Starmer and his team repeatedly pledged not to raise taxes on working people. However, a poll of 1,560 people found voters believe potentially increases in fuel duty or raising inheritance tax would hit workers and potentially breach Mr Starmer's election promise. Ministers have refused to rule out rumoured increases in fuel duty, inheritance tax or capital gains tax after Mr Starmer warned of a painful budget in autumn due to a £22 billion black hole. Now, obviously, this is, let's be clear, there was some of the money that the Chancellor introduced in the Conservative former Conservative Chancellor Jeremy Hunt introduced in his budget that were not completely cleared by, that were not completely open books, so not everything was very, very clear. However, there was a lot of this budget that Labour should have known as well. Now, to say that Labour knew everything is folly. Labour didn't know everything, but there was obviously some things that that they did know as well. So I do think they are playing a political game as well, Labour, when it comes to this black hole. A claim that the opposition contest. So this here is the source from BMG. It says taxes hitting workers. What would you describe increasing the following, raising taxes on working people as would not, or don't knows there. It's capital gains tax, inheritance tax, VAT on private school fees, income tax between 12,570 and 50,000, income tax between 50,000 and 125,000, income tax of over 125,000, national insurance, corporation tax, council tax, tobacco and alcohol duty, and fuel duty. There you can see some of the numbers there, just having a quick peek. Yeah, income tax obviously is one that most 62% there you can see say would. Another high one would be council tax, 61%. 59% there for national insurance is another high one there. Tobacco and alcohol duty and fuel duty, both high numbers as well there. Interesting. A rise in fuel duty is seen by more than half, that's 59% of voters, as a tax on working people, compared to 22% who say it is not. Indeed, fuel duty is looked upon more voters as a tax on working people than raising national insurance or increasing income tax for those earning more than £50,000. Meanwhile, more voters, 43%, believe raising the inheritance tax would amount to a tax on working people that do not, 35%. A majority, 57% of voters, believe that raising tobacco and alcohol duties would also amount to a tax on working people, compared to 24% who don't. Excuse me. The Chancellor, Rachel Reeves, however, may find it easier to argue that capital gains tax is in line with Labour's election pledges, with 36% saying they would not hit working people versus 35% who believe it would. So Labour's tax dishonesty here is again from BMG. To what extent do you think Labour were honest about their tax plans during the general election? They have 32% saying not at all honest there. 28% saying mostly honest. So it's a very mixed bag there from their polling, because some people think they were still mostly honest, but not. Some people were not all honest or not very honest there. So interesting numbers there. Mr Starmer was also accused of subduedly walking down his election pledge this week, having previously defied workers to those who earn a living rely on public service but don't have the ability to write a cheque when they get in trouble. But on Tuesday, he indicated that working people referred to Labour's tax lock not to raise income tax, VAT or national insurance, but the Telegraph reported that this definition was being used by the Treasury for its budget planning. They have said they're not raising those taxes, but like I said, we know some taxes are going to be raised. It's the case of where they're going to be raising them. The warnings and apparent shifts have left voters believing Mr Starmer and his ministers were not honest about their intentions on the taxes in the election, in a sign that is a key Tory attack line, and even landing even as opposition parties struggle to get a hearing under interim leader Rishi Sunak. The proportion who think the party has been honest mostly falls in line with falls along voting lines, with Labour voters more likely to think they're being honest, 63%, than Conservatives 17%, and Reform 12% voters. So the government has been approached for comment on this. The BMG Research polled 1,560 adults in Great Britain on the 29th of August. The results are weighted to reflect the profile of adults in Great Britain, while BMG Research is a member of the British Polling Council and abides by the rules. I'm not going to read that end bit there, but I do think, it is only 1,556 people. So like I always say with these guys, when any polls, obviously, just take them with a pinch of salt. It's way too early anyway. You know, we're only just a couple of months into this Labour government. We have to remember, obviously, they've been away on the holidays, so they've just come back, a lot of them as well. Don't have to like that they've been on a holiday, but they have. They're now back in full force. And hopefully, this Labour government will start getting things done, and laws will start getting put in place and whatnot, because we need to start getting the ball rolling with things. But as for these taxes, you know, this budget in October is going to be really, really important at the end of the month. It's going to be very significant to see what Labour are going to do and how they're going to do it. Apologies for the burping. I do think it's going to be whatever Labour are going to do, guys, they're going to upset someone somewhere. It doesn't matter whoever political party is in. Whatever they're going to do, they're going to upset somebody. There's no situation here where whatever Labour they're going to do, they're going to please everyone. Someone somewhere is going to get upset. That's just a fundamental fact. They're going to have to raise money from somewhere. I don't like it. I hate it. I don't like this premise. I don't like that we are in the situation we're in. But this is what happens when you leave the Conservatives in power for 14 goddamn years. And I'm so sick of this premise that keeps saying Labour are going to be worse. Like, dude, like, it's just shut up with Labour are going to be worse. Like, you haven't even, like, it's been 14 years of the same political party, and some of you actually think you'd be better off under the Conservatives. Like, just no. Like, we've got to give Labour an opportunity to show what they can do. But it doesn't mean to say that we can give them an easy ride either. That is for sure. The honeymoon period is pretty much over for Keir Starmer, you know. So, but we'll have to wait and see what they do. There's lots of things for to come. But I do think on taxes themselves, whether they, I don't accept this premise that there wasn't going to be any taxes whatsoever on working people. I just hope the majority of the burden of taxes that they do plan on raising hits the people with the broadest of shoulders and not those who are struggling right now. That's what I hope. But obviously, we will have to wait and see, guys. But what do you guys honestly think? What do you guys make of this exclusive from What do you make of the polling? Do you think Labour are being dishonest? Labour are already dishonest? What do you guys honestly think about the upcoming budget and on the taxes that they have and haven't to pledge to? Let me know your thoughts and more down in the comments section below. If you found this video interesting, please hit the like button. We greatly appreciate it. Share this across social media so others are notified of this video. And subscribe, because it really does help support the channel. And if you want to go one step further, financially support me and the work that I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p. Or join me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content on those platforms. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.